Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns. For my next entry to the Christmas Ornament Wood Turning Challenge, I'm going to make a Christmas tree out of this block of apricot wood. I wanted to keep it simple, but this will be multi-axis. Maybe simple, maybe not. To prepare, I've marked the center and punched it, and 60-degree angles out from the center and 3/8 inch out from that. Those will be the different axes used in this turning. Ignore this one. I didn't have any apricot colored white out. If you're a wood turner, there's still time. Video yourself making an ornament. Upload it to YouTube and let me know where it is so I can add to the official playlist. If you're a viewer, enjoy. For all of us, let's have some fun.
Since this is a multi-axis turning, I did not want to use my normal spur drive center. Instead, I used a crown drive center similar to a stem center. I did not want big spur grooves interfering with each other as I adjusted the axis. The axis centers are only 3/8 inch apart from each other. My normal spur drive center would have been putting grooves all over each other. First things were to mark the bottom and top of the 3 branches in the top. I did not want to worry about the base yet because I wanted as much wood as I could have at the base as I moved the axis around. I was also concerned about reducing the bottom trunk too quickly for fear that it could snap under the pressure of cutting the branch grooves on the 3 different axes. When I was satisfied with the overall profile of the tree branches, it was time to sand up through 400 grit. At that point I sprayed it with sanding sealer, but this was a little premature. I adjusted the calipers to give me 4 sets of 3 marks each, 4 branches, or 12 divisions overall. I didn't have colored Sharpies. If I did, I would have used 3 different colors to help me keep track of the groups. As is, I had to carefully count and recount to ensure I was cutting the right groove on the right axis on the right mark. I moved the axis from center to the first of the 3 off-center axes, then cut every 3rd groove starting with the first mark. It was very difficult to see what I was doing. The normal shadow above the wood was not enough, and the bottom shadow was actually filled with my skew. Then I moved the axis to the second off-center axis and cut every 3rd groove starting with the second mark with my skew. Before starting the 3rd set, I stopped and honed my gouge again. Finally, I moved the axis to the 3rd off-center axis and cut the remaining every 3rd groove. I went through the sequence a couple of times. The apricot wood is very dense and tough to cut the grooves. In the end, this was the hardest part of this project. It was almost a white knuckle turning as I had to hit the mark as closely as I could while making sure the skew did not skate along the tree, giving me, those unwanted screw threads. With the grooves completed, I took another couple of passes over the surface of the tree to clean it up. This was tough because the surface was now all chopped up. There's nothing reliable to ride the bevel on. I also tried cleaning the grooves with a triangle file. I used my new mouth atomizer to spray on the sanding sealer. Between the blowing and the lacquer thinner, I had to take it a little easy to avoid getting lightheaded. Then my wife painted the grooves with green acrylic paint. We let the paint dry overnight, and then another cleanup pass with the skew. Between the dense apricot, the paint on the surface, and the sanding sealer, it was very hard to get a cut going. I wound up using the skew as a negative rake scraper. Then it was time for sanding again. With the branches done, I turned a 10 on the base so I could hold it without the tailstock, and started to form the trunk. Then a carefully drilled hole for the hanger in the top. I used the suggestion by Kipper Dude on my icicles video to cut a small relief and then choke up on the bit so that it was just enough. So just enough was exposed to limit how the bit could flex. Then sand the top on the trunk. This ornament was more difficult than expected, but turned out very nice. It is about 5.5 inches tall by about 1.5 inches in diameter. It can scale to several sizes as necessary. Please join with Carl Jacobson and myself for the Christmas Ornament Wood Turning Challenge. To participate, video your wood turning, upload it, and let me know to add it to the official playlist. If you have a wood turning project you'd like me to try, please let me know. Meanwhile, please like this video and comment below. And please add your tips and ideas for other projects.